Hey there, Westchester University alumni. Thanks for tuning in to Ramblings Live. I'm Justin Sachoka. Sorry, we're a little bit late here. We were having some issues with connecting, but we're connected. We've got you. Let us know if it is that if you can see us. I'm watching along as well, and I can see that, yeah, we are up and we're working and running right now. So if this is your first time joining us for Ramblings Live, what is this? This is a place where we get to connect with fellow Westchester University alumni, with faculty, staff that are currently there, that used to be there, with the athletic department. We've connected with everybody on Ramblings Live. We get to tell their story and get to talk to them and see where everybody's path has led since Westchester University. And we love to have you be a part of the conversation, like Margot Moss, who's joining us right now, as well as Dean Genikos, who's saying you're on, and we're on. We're live right now, and we are bringing in with us today Dr. Chris Mullen, who is a brother of the Friar Society. Hence why I had to dig this shirt out. You know, this shirt doesn't, it was a little bit more loose in college than it is right now, but I guess that will happen over time. So we're going to talk to Dr. Chris Mullen here in just a second, but I do want to remind everyone that Ramblings Live happens about every 2 weeks. And we've had a whole bunch of people that have been on here. Next, I believe it's in 2 weeks from now, the Strausses, both Strausses are actually going to be here. And then President Ferentino is going to be here towards the end for our final version of Ramblings Live. But without any further ado, let's bring in Dr. Chris Mullen, my fellow Friar Society brother, who this is our first time that we've ever met. It's great to meet you, Chris.
Nice to see you, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for coming on here on Ramblings Live. I feel like I'm talking to a Westchester University legend from everybody that I have talked to. It's crazy how many mutual friends that we have, and yet our paths have never crossed. So it's great to get to meet you. And how's everything going?
Great. I live out here in Colorado, so we're very happy that
Nice.
the wildfires are kind of going down. We had 14 inches of snow a couple of weeks ago and another 4 the other day.
Wow.
So we're happy. It was raining ash at one point for a couple of weeks
Wow.
here. So it was about 7 miles from my house in northern Colorado. So everything's going well, and just trying to live life to the fullest.
That's great. I love Colorado. And I was going to ask, what part of Colorado are you in? Where in northern Colorado?
So Fort Collins, which is where the Colorado State University is in town. So it's basically Westchester in the mountains. Honest to God, it is. They have a historic downtown just like Westchester, and it is what drew us here.
What I find really funny, and this happens with me and my friends all the time, is whenever we go somewhere else, we use Westchester as the comparison. So when we've gone to like Atlanta and gone to the suburbs, like, oh, that one suburb, it's just like Westchester. It's just a little bit, the streets are a little bit wider, it's a little bit longer, but you use Westchester as the hub of how you compare to every town. I want to know what brought you to Westchester. Where are you from, and what brought you to Westchester University?
Yeah, those out there that know me, I'm from Northeast Philadelphia, public school kid. Wasn't really supposed to go to college. I'm a first-gen college student. So, I actually applied to Westchester on a whim my senior year, got accepted, and then decided college was not for me. And so I did construction some of high school for 3 or 4 years after. Tried to go to community college in Philadelphia at night, didn't work after 14-hour long days of construction, and kind of decided, construction was for me, and kind of doing that. Then I kind of just saw what it was really like. I started asking a guy I was driving out with to the job site and said, "Hey man, how old are you?" And the guy was like, "I'm 40, I'm 41." And I was like, "There's no way this guy's 41. He is 65 at a minimum." I mean, that's how much of a toll construction takes on people. And I thought, I might want to reconsider this college thing. And so I ended up going to Bucks County Community College for a couple of years.
Okay.
And then Westchester was always, top of mind as a place to go from someone from Philadelphia, 45 minutes away. My wife, my wife, she would tell you I went there for her. She was going to Westchester at the time, and we had been dating for quite a few years. So she says she'll tell you that I went there because she went there. And there's a lot of truth to that, I'm sure.
I was going to say, and I mean, is that true?
Yeah. Hey, it's a great perk to go to college with your girlfriend.
There you go. And when you were at Westchester, where were you living? Were you living on campus, off campus? I guess let me word it like this. Because I know that you were really involved, and we're going to jump into your involvement at Westchester University. But I feel like when you're a student at Westchester, that is really involved. You never live in the dorm that you're supposed to live in. Like I lived in Sykes. That's if people ask me where I lived at Westchester, I feel like it was like student union. Where did you live on campus?
I would have to say I lived in, I think one, two, three, four, I think five of the different residence halls
Wow.
I lived in. So Sanderson when I was a student, Killinger, and then I was an RA in Goshen Hall, and then lots of time in Sykes for sure. As you
Sure.
said, I was involved. So one of the things I was involved with was the Residence Hall Association. We had a huge office in the Sykes Student Union, and so that was a great home away from home. My wife had an apartment right out back of McCarthy and the music building. So their parking
Okay.
lots kind of were adjacent to one another. So I spent a lot of time when I was off campus there, which was really on campus on High Street.
Yeah. Well, speaking of being on campus and off campus, you walk the streets. There's all these bars, restaurants, everything. What was your go-to spot when you were on campus? Where were you hanging out outside of the campus buildings?
Yeah, I think because we were highly involved in organizations at the university, we did not go out as much, I would say. But there
Okay.
were a couple times a semester, a lot of us would get together, and it was the Rat was a huge place at the time.
I never
I
had the chance of going there. I wish I've
Yeah.
heard so many things about it. I wish I could have gone.
Yeah, the Rat was a big place, and then of course, like Jake's and Rigtown was always a fun spot. I had named some of the residence halls I was in. I was also the hall director of McCarthy Hall, the all
Okay.
female building, and then I was also the hall director of Ramsey. So I'd been at I'd been at Westchester from I want to say 2000 for almost 10 years between my
Wow.
undergrad, my master's, and then it was my first out of college professional position.
So let's talk about your professional career path, because I know that you were involved quite a bit at Westchester. And can you tell us a little bit about what it was that you were involved in, and then how that led for you in the job that you have now, and what it is that you do now? Because from my understanding is that a lot of what you did at Westchester has really helped mold and shape the person that you are today and what it is that you do today.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. From being a resident assistant, right? From being the executive director of RHA, uh, it was a lot of leadership, honing your leadership skills, a lot of speaking in front of others. Then I went on staff at Westchester University in McCarthy and Ramsey Hall. So running the buildings was a huge jump in responsibilities when it became to facilities and things like that. I ended up going on to be in residence life at other universities out here in Colorado.
Oh
But
wow.
a big part of that was the hiring. You're always hiring RAs, you're always hiring desk assistants, and you're always hiring staff. Hundreds a semester, hundreds a year. And so
Hmm.
that put me into this idea that I really enjoyed human resources. I love the hiring, the talent development, the team building type of stuff. So that ended up when I left the University of Northern Colorado as the assistant director of residence life, and I also ran housing because of the construction background. I
Yeah.
went on to Colorado State University where I did all the equal opportunity work. So I did all the hiring for the entire university. So my time at Westchester, I was doing that in smaller increments. That helped me to then parlay that into more bigger universities, bigger structures, where then I ended up as the HR director at the University of Colorado Boulder. So
Oh
I
wow.
had, supporting 2,500 employees
That's
of
amazing.
all different diversities. I mean, whether it's education, ethnicity, race, frontline workers versus people with PhDs. It was the whole gamut. And so super interesting to me, but that all goes back to Westchester. Because as you know, when you're involved with a student org, you can't really tell people what to do. Like in the working world, if you have power over someone because you're their boss, sometimes people just tell people what to do. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
What I honed at Westchester was everyone was almost a volunteer. So how do you kind of get them and motivate them to do the work of the betterment of the organization or the university? And so that is kind of what I've used as my leadership style going forward. The servant type leadership, which I was involved with the SAIL program with Charlie Warner while I was
Sure.
there. And a lot of volunteering through the Friars, through the people in residence life and student affairs there.
So I feel like most people that are involved in Westchester have the long list of things
Yeah.
I always remember if in like an email you would see the list of things people were involved in, and it was like a page long. Let's go through that list. Can you give me what your list was at Westchester University? What it was that you were involved in?
Oof. So I said RHA. I was the treasurer, executive
Yep.
director. I was an RA. Um, I was also Friars. I was the treasurer of the Friars Society. I was involved with the Frederick Douglass Society, the Multicultural Center. Um, gosh, I don't want to say that's it, but they're the huge ones. The SAIL program. They're the ones that really come to mind because one thing that was unique about me being involved, the RHA position and the RA position were both paid, and I held both jobs at the same time for 2 years, which I don't know that they do anymore. It was even unheard of at the time I was doing it, to have two paid
Yeah.
jobs on campus. I remember having to have to persuade Dr. Tom Purse to allow me to do it because it
In
was
order, and
yeah.
I think here, speaking of Dr. Tom Purse, I know that we have a couple photos that you had sent over, and let's bring that up. I see that's Matt Bricketto there, and Dr. Purse as well in there.
Yeah.
Are you still in touch with people from Westchester University? Are you still in touch with the people that were your advisors, the people that had helped you out? Do you still lean into them even today?
I say once in a while. More of to me, my Fryer brothers are the ones that I kind of talk with every now and then. I would love to catch up with Dr. B and Tom. There are others there that I think, one of the questions that was posed to me prior to this was like, what faculty? But for me, it was always the administrators, always the administrators. So you saw two there. Pete Galloway was a huge influence on me. He got me involved as a professional in professional organizations like Makuho and things like that, which to me got me my next job because I was so involved. And the RHA, the reason UNC, I think, really hired me was not just my skill in the residence halls, but was my volunteering and my understanding of the Residence Hall Association, because they wanted to build theirs to be big. And in 2 years, they did. Theirs was National School of the Year, National Diversity School of the Year. I was National Advisor of the Year. And
Oh,
none
wow.
of that could have happened without my time at Westchester learning that. Mary McKinney, who's still there, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say Lynn Klingen-Smith, Charlie Warner, and Dawn Pfeiffer-Wrights, who's no longer there. But Dawn saved me. I mean,
Dawn's
I don't know that
amazing. Dawn is
amazing.
one of the most amazing people that you will ever meet. Who, yes, she's moved on since from Westchester University. I still keep in touch with her on Facebook, and I know that she's touched so many lives from Westchester. And really interesting about how you have that connection with her too.
Well, her impact on my life, crazy. I was supposed to be an RA in Killinger, and I like to talk about failures because I think people can learn from that. But I did so bad my first semester at Westchester that I was accepted to be an RA. There were only 3 job openings, and I got one of them. And then when my GPA came out, they wouldn't allow me to do it. And I was
Really?
like a 3.7, 3.75 type of a student in community college. Westchester was a totally different story for me, the studying and how much work I had to put forward. I got under a 2.0. So they would not let me be an RA. And because they gave me my room, they gave my room away, I had nowhere to live. So that was my first meeting with Dawn. She had to find me a place to live, and she was so gracious. She became one of our dearest friends. In fact, when I was a hall director, my wife would watch her kids.
Oh, really?
When they were young babies. So yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention all of those folks. They were wonderful. Herb Lee and so many great people.
What I think that I've learned from doing Ramblings Live is that as I talk to all these people, and especially past alumni, those personal connections with the faculty and the staff that are there is what I think people really take away more than anything. It's those personal relationships and how much the faculty and the staff at Westchester University care about that. And it's just amazing to hear yet another example of that again, because I think it really solidifies people's opinion of Westchester and maybe sway people to go there is because of that personal touch, which you definitely and most certainly get when you go to Westchester University. Now, I want to jump over to social media because we've had a bunch of people that have chimed in to say hello. And I was having some technical difficulties here with our software, so I apologize. I was trying to get your comments up, but we want to say hi to Ashley, who is joining on, Michael Dixon, who is here as well, saying hello. Ashley also says hi to Michael Dixon, so we might as well throw that up on there. Sabrina Reitmer saying McCarthy Hall, woot woot. Mark WCU to HR. And let's see, Sarah says, love the Friars. Catherine Rose said that he volunteered for the Alumni Association as a student. And Sabrina's throwing some love over to Dawn Pfeiffer Wrights as well. So by all means, comment in on our social post. Any comments that come in, you're automatically entered to win a prize from WCU Alumni Association. So please go ahead and comment on there. But Chris, if you could tell me, you talked about HR, and I know that you're involved in that. And even from talking to you now, I feel like I wish you were my HR rep, because I feel like you probably do so much for anybody that you get to work with. I think that there is a negative connotation to what HR is. I think of The Office, and I think of Toby from The Office as soon as you hear of HR. And I would imagine that that is not the case. That's probably not your experience. So for someone that's watching that maybe a student who hasn't jumped into the HR world, or maybe just started because they're putting in applications and they're dealing with someone in human resources that they haven't jumped into there yet, what would you explain HR? It's two letters. What is HR?
Yeah, I think, human resources. So right now I do not do human resources. I talk a lot about human resources. I was in the field for 15 years. So now I am a speaker and a writer. So I write for Forbes and things like that on HR topics. I speak at huge HR events around the world. And the thing I'm seeing is that HR is definitely coming to a reckoning. To your point, that people think of The Office. People have had those types of experiences. But HR now, with the pandemic happening, has been leaned on so much more during this time, whether it's to keep in communication with employees, whether it's how do we propel our business forward. So I spent a lot of time speaking about how to build award-winning cultures, because I think HR is a big part of that. They're the conduit. They have a lot of say in how that is portrayed in their organizations. I happen to work for a company that is on the Forbes Best Places to Work list, and we actually went through a merger during the last 4 months during this time.
Wow!
And we believe it's the first time. We know it's the first time that 2 of Forbes's 100 Best Places to Work have come together. The company I worked for, which was Kronos, was number 52, and the company we merged with, which was Ultimate Software, was number 2. And so now we're a company called UKG, worldwide. Gosh, how many employees? We're up to 12,000 employees. So it's really huge. And so we spent a lot of time speaking on this. I would say for people who are interested in the profession, it's a great profession where I believe you can do good. No matter what, even if your job is just to hire people, you can create a moment that matters for that individual who's being hired through communication, because everyone wonders when they take a new job, hey, is this the best place for me? Did I make the right decision? Yeah. And I think we neglect to have that communication from an HR perspective. And I think that's what I've been portraying out there in the HR world is you have the opportunity to create a moment that matters for every individual employee. And we should be doing it. We need to be doing it.
It's incredible to hear how throughout this time your companies came together to do that. And I imagine that there's probably a lot of challenges as well in this virtual world. So how is it that you have been adapting to the world that we live in, into this virtual environment now?
Yeah, the remote workspace is I have been tired of talking about it because that was March and April. I've probably done 20, 25 webinars just in that time span and lots of articles. So I have been working remotely for the last 2 years, and it is still an issue for me. It was still totally different because someone with a family, I have 4 kids at home, and now they're all homeschooling. So even for me as someone who worked remotely, I traveled quite a bit to speak, but it's totally different atmosphere for us. And even if you don't have kids, you're like, well, that's not me. The people I know that are single or home by themselves or just have a partner, it's even different for them because now they feel more isolated. And so we need to use technology to our benefit. I mean, I work for a software company, a tech HR company, so I believe in that. Sure. But we need to have I hate the word balance. We need to have like a negotiation of what it works, because I don't want to be on video all day. There are studies coming out now of how narcissistic people are being because they see themselves on webcams all day. There's also a lot of research out there now on how many more meetings there are. So I say to my staff, one of my pointers as a leader is to say, if you want to be on camera, be on camera. If you don't. Let's do a walk and talk. I'll go outside. I'll get on my earbuds. Let's have our conversation. We don't need the face-to-face. If you want it, it's there always.
Yeah.
And I think it's appropriate, but we need to also allow people the flexibility to be able to just be on phone. We're also seeing into people's homes now a lot. So people are worried about, what does my backdrop look like? Oh my gosh, are my kids going to walk in? Mine are my kids going to walk in and I hope they're clothed, right? My kids because behind this in this closet here is all toys. So they're always in here.
I was going to say, did you set your backdrop up here for this? I mean, this alone, right? We're talking about backdrops and everything. Did you get it all set up for this? I want to jump over to Laura, who chimed in as well and said, way to represent the RAs. I was a past RA as well. Laura, thanks for tuning in here into Ramblings Live. Chris, we're going to go back and we're going to play a game here that's called This or That. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up two different options. We're going to get to know you a little bit different in a different way. So let's play This or That. Pretty simple. Books or TV, which one do you prefer?
I'd like to say books because I'm an academic, but no way. I love TV.
And what are you watching on TV?
Right now, I'm watching The Crown. Is one of the big ones.
I think on Sunday is when the next season hits, I believe. Yeah.
And Shark Tank. Shark Tank for sure. I'm a big now that I've been in the private sector, my kids and I, Shark Tank.
Yeah, I feel like that show will go on forever. It's a fantastic show. Cake or pie? Which one do you prefer? Thanksgiving dinner.
Cake.
You're going with cake. All right.
Thanksgiving is always pie, but any other time it's cake.
That's the one time of year that you'll have the pie instead. Do you call people or do you text people? What do you prefer?
I would say now I probably text more.
Okay. I feel like you're very good at communicating that no matter what form you use, you're going to get the message across. So it wouldn't matter too much.
I'm usually on meetings or video all day.
I'm going to tear you apart with this one. Jake's Bar or the Rat? I know.
This is so hard. I have so many great memories of the Rat, of fellow friars and RAs at the end of a semester. Jake's is so convenient because we used to order Rigtown and have them deliver it to Jake's.
You got to pick one. Which one are you going to go with? You're going to make one
I'm going to go with the Rat because it's not there for nostalgic reasons.
There you go. The Rat it is. Old Main or New Main? Old Main, I think, is before your time, though. So
it's going to have to be New Main. Yep.
How about Wawa or 7-Eleven?
Easy Wawa. I can't get a hoagie to save my life out here.
You mentioned one of these, Amori's Pizza or Rigtown?
Yeah, it'd be Rigtown for sure.
I knew that was going to be the answer there. Do you like going by the beach or do you like going to the pool?
Beach for sure. And my kids are the same way. We have to have a beach vacation every single year.
Really? Okay. And what beach do you go to? Will you fly east or will you go west?
We used to fly east all the time. Now that we're out here in Colorado, we used to go to Ocean City, Jersey. Now we have found a wonderful place called Carlsbad, California. That is just gorgeous. It is missing a boardwalk for sure, but the weather, there's no rain, no green flies. That place is awesome.
Last question here: beer or wine? Which one do you pick?
Because I'm out here, it's a margarita all the time.
A margarita. All right, we got to add a new one onto the list.
And I have a homemade recipe that I hand squeeze lemons and limes every week for.
All right, that sounds good. You know what? Share the recipe. Go ahead and comment, post it. I think others are going to be asking about that. Sarah was jumping in saying that she's picking Rigtown.
And Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Denise is saying Jake's all the way, so she's going to go against what it is that you said, but we'll take that there. And we have we're going to end on this question. Do you have any recommendations for anybody that is working from home? We were talking about that a little bit, but when it comes to that work-life balance, what would you suggest to somebody who has worked from home 2 years prior? And I think you gave a little bit of suggestions too about not always turning on the camera, getting outside a little bit, do that walk and talk. What would you suggest to somebody who is maybe at the breaking point right now? Maybe they're at the point where it's like, I have been doing this for 7 months now, 8 months. I I don't think I can do it any longer. What suggestion would you give to that person?
Yeah, I give a whole talk on work life, what I call work life negotiation. I spent my 9 years with a PhD on this research.
Oh, wow.
So for me, the work life piece for those who are struggling right now, it is self care all the way. You have to create boundaries, even though you're in your home. There needs to be time where you shut the door and you work, and there needs to be time where you shut the door and you don't work in your home. Get rid of this. Not get rid of it, but like, you know what I
It's a
mean?
little hard.
It's time to, at some point, it's time to put it down, turn off your notifications. We need to take micro breaks. We need to take micro breaks from our technology. I spend time quite a bit because I'm in Colorado. Walking or climbing mountains is my hobby. It's not the safest hobby, but it's one that I love. So whatever you love, I have to get to the gym every single day. So whatever it is for you, reading a book, meditating, create a morning routine, connect with people that you love, even if it is through FaceTime. We have to have those boundaries, even though work is now more in our lives than ever before. It is time to kind of create that boundary so you can negotiate work and life. And what I mean by that is, like, if I have a kid's soccer game, I may negotiate my work time so that I can go to their game, right? And then I might work a little earlier, a little later. To be honest, I'm still on pretty much East Coast time, even though I'm 2 hours behind y'all. I pretty much work from that time on. And then I take a break.
That's going to be an added difficulty. Do you wake up early in the morning then to adapt to everybody on the East Coast? Is that kind of the routine that you follow?
Most of my team is on the East Coast, so I like to be available. But actually, I know for myself that I am more creative in the mornings. So I spend that time while the kids are sleeping, creating maybe my talks or thinking of my next article to write. And so that's where I get more creative, and then the meetings start. But I'm usually done by, I want to say 3:30, 4 o'clock local time, which is normal. Yeah. So I kind of stick to the even closeout time on the East Coast for that reason, because the kids get home from school at that time, and I want to be a family man and kind of be here for all the kiddos. I don't have any more years left, many more years left. I have my oldest, if those on here, I see the names, they know my oldest, because my son grew up in McCarthy Hall, and so did one of my daughters.
No, now I have a picture here. That's awesome. Is this one of the kids that grew up in McCarthy?
This is Noah outside of Ramsey Hall learning how to throw. So my son learned how to throw right outside of Ramsey Hall. He is now finishing 2 years shy of finishing high school. So college is right around the corner. He's driving. It's for all my friends out there who know Noah and know Tessa. My two oldest, who were born at Westchester and lived at the university, they are much older now.
You know that everybody that's watching right now, after you just said that the kids that they remembered, you just announced that they're like 2 years from college, they're all like this right now. Yeah. Where did time go? What, are you kidding me? Yeah. It's what a unique experience. And now I'm gonna dive into that for a second. What did that mean to you? You know, somebody who didn't think they were going to go to college, ends up going to Westchester University, and two of your children you started raising them there. Really a full circle moment. What is that like? What was that like for you?
It is it's wonderful, because then when we left Westchester, they tore down Ramsey. I was the last hall director. I was the last person to sleep a night in Ramsey Hall ever.
That you deserve like a plaque for that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I should. And it was haunted. It was.
Well, next Halloween we'll bring you on for that one. That'll be a specific one.
It is full circle, because then we went to other universities where I worked, and my kids really, I didn't live on those campuses, but my kids, when I would bring them to campus, were very attuned to college students. Noah, for instance, he speaks to adults like he's an adult from age like early on, because he was so used to college students and hanging out with them and talking to them.
Yeah.
If you ask him how he's doing, he's going to reciprocate that and say, so really, how are you doing? What about this that you said? And his demeanor and his interpersonal skills are so different, because we've lived at so many universities, and they really come to me to all the programs. So yeah, it'd be an interesting study, to say the least. But they're so used to college students from growing up there.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining in here on Ramblings Live. It was great to officially meet you and to get to connect on here. And I hope that everybody that was watching was able to take something from that, because you're incredibly inspiring with everything that is that you're saying, and obviously very well read. Where can people keep up with you with what it is that you do? How can people stay in touch?
Yeah, I've got my own website, chrismullen.org. The best way to find everything that's happening is LinkedIn or Twitter, but LinkedIn is probably the one where I'm sharing the most. Hey, if you want to go to my LinkedIn today, tomorrow I flip the script and I am interviewing Bear Grylls tomorrow.
No way.
Yeah, so come to my LinkedIn page. You'll see it. You can register for free. So I get to spend 45 minutes with Bear Grylls, Man versus Wild, and ask him all kinds of fun questions to learn about how what he took away from survival and being out in the wilderness to how we can apply that to business today. So, hey, join me there. LinkedIn is probably the best way to follow me at the moment.
That's awesome. Well, Chris Mullen's right there. Follow him on LinkedIn, add him on that, and go on over to his website as well, and check him out interviewing Bear Grylls tomorrow. Chris, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you sometime soon. Hopefully see you on campus even sooner.
Oh, I hope so.
So long.
Thanks, Justin. Thank you, everyone. My pleasure.
So that's Chris Mullen's there, who the last standing person to be able to sleep in Ramsey Hall. Who knew? These are the things that we learn here on Ramblings Live. And the Strausses are going to be with us in, I believe it's just 2 weeks. The monitor is a little bit far away for me to know. I think it's 2 weeks from today that they're going to be joining us. And then President Ferrantino is going to be here shortly after that. That's going to end our season of Ramblings Live for the fall semester. And then we're going to get back to it again in the spring. So make sure that you join back in. And if you were watching and commented along, you were entered to win a prize from WCU Alumni Association. So they're going to be reaching out with regards to that. They're going to randomly pick a winner within the next day. And last but not least here, Ram Nation. We talk about this each and every week and encourage you to become a part of it. It's a way for you to be able to connect with current students and other alumni at Westchester University. WCUalumni.org/Ram Nation is where you need to go to for that. Thanks again for joining us on Ramblings Live. I'm Justin Sachoka, and I will see you next time right here on the Westchester University Facebook.